Hi everybody, Jeff Gayduk here from Leisure Group Travel Magazine. I'm live at the American Bus Association Conference, Nashville, Tennessee, 2014. With me is Peter Pantuso, President and CEO of the American Bus Association.
Hey Jeff, good to have you back with us again this year.
It's great to be back here. I tell people that I've not been to Nashville before, but I've been to the Gaylord Opryland Resort.
Sure.
So it's fun to be downtown Nashville this time, isn't it?
It's great to be downtown. You know, Gaylord is such an iconic destination, and we've always loved going to Gaylord, and we got out to their property last night because we went to the Grand Ole Opry. But boy, being in downtown Nashville, not only is it a great destination, it's almost a brand new destination. I mean, if you were here 5 years ago, you almost wouldn't recognize it. It's that fabulous and that new.
Yep, absolutely. It's the entertainment, the activities going on downtown. If people haven't been here before, you can see why it's getting such positive press coverage.
Oh yeah, if they've never been here before, it just knocks their socks off. And if they've been here before, they're like, wow, look at all the new stuff and the new things there are to do. The amazing thing to me about it too is they still keep their same feel and friendliness. I mean, it's got to be the friendliest city in America. If there's another one, I haven't been there yet.
We'll have to check it out.
It's just a great place.
One of the things I like about ABA in its position early on in the year, it allows one to get a pulse on what's happening in the industry,
Sure.
Unlike any other show. From your perspective, what's the vibe of the group travel industry for 2014?
Well, I think that it's very, very positive. I mean, as I'm talking to operators and travel members, they're telling me some incredible stories about how good their business was last year. You know, things are certainly on the upswing since we've been through the recessionary period, but they're all extremely positive about what they're seeing this year, what's on the books, what's already being planned, and not only this year, but even looking forward into 2015, things that they're hearing and starting to work on, starting to do. So I think it's a great opportunity for the industry this year and next year and on a going forward basis, you know, barring anything unforeseen. But the economy is obviously coming back, and you know, we saw the stock market go up as much as 20% in the last 12 months. That loosens up a lot of people's wallets.
Absolutely. Well, and it seems to be extending to a degree. The marketplace show floor, in my opinion, is more elaborate than it's ever been.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the show floor is just popping with excitement, entertainment. The booths are bigger and better than ever. I think people are investing more into travel. I've had a number of great meetings with different travel partners here, and they've talked about what they want to do next year to even crank it up another level.
Really?
They, you know, it's competitive at some level, but you know, they've got some great product to sell. They want people to see how fantastic it is, and they can't just do that with a tabletop and a 10x10.
Sure. As we're overlooking the bourbon distillery over there, it's
exactly.
It's very
pretty elaborate.
A lot of thought going into the process.
Right.
The term innovation is seldom used in conjunction with the bus industry, and especially from people that are outside the marketplace that don't understand some of the technological advancements that have happened, and we get the benefit of seeing some of these coaches that are rolling off the assembly line. Can you speak a little bit to the innovation of the industry and how it's adapting to the 21st century traveler?
Well, sure. You know, if you think of innovation in terms of equipment, there's so many changes on the coach, most of which people never see. I mean, new safety measures that are in place. Seatbelts, obviously, they do see. Those are now going to be required on every new coach starting in 2016. But you've got stability control. You've got other elements of the way the coach is manufactured that make it better than ever, and that's all related to technology. So take on top of that the technology that's going on through the industry and the travel and tourism industry. I mean, it just multiplies the way people now want to travel. It's just not about going to a destination, and I consider technology not just the hardware and the wiring, if you will, but it's the technology of the way the whole system fits together. You know, we've always talked about in transportation a systems approach, not just having segmented ways of travel, but tying things together. That's kind of the approach I think the travel and tourism industry is in. It's a systems approach. It's tying all the pieces of travel and tourism together, and that's kind of what this show does. I mean, it brings all the components together. When people are thinking about planning and traveling and touring, you know, there's so many components that tie in together in one place at one time, and the show marketplace allows them to do that.
Good. During the opening presentation, a considerable amount of time was spent covering the ABA Foundation, and I was very impressed by some of the statistics that we saw that Sarah presented and talking about the impact of group motor coach travel to Alabama, something like 400,000 group tour, 84,000 room nights. Talk a little bit about the initiatives of the foundation and how that can, ideally, because you know we all know tracking is a huge issue, justifying existence in a very crowded marketplace against meetings and conventions or leaving leisure travel,
Yep.
just trying to get our share of the pie. So if you can talk a few minutes on that, I'd
Well,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
you know, the foundation has been around in earnest for about 15 years now, and a number of years ago they really started to pick up the ball on research, because as you can appreciate and understand, there's a complete void of research when it comes to motor coach and a lot of travel and tourism issues. One of the things we began working on a couple of years ago was kind of looking at the economic impact of motor coach travel around the country. We were able, through a researcher, John Dunham and Associates, to kind of get that down to a smaller level. We could look at it on a congressional district basis, so you know, within a 500,000 or 600,000, 700,000 people, what the impact of coach travel and group travel was in that. Now we've been able to make it more granular and take it down to really the zip code level. So a lot of talk today that I had with tourism directors from different states who are looking at this information saying, wow, what's the impact on my state, and how can I tell my communities how this data is gathered, how it works. Dunham did a presentation, and they were all, I think, just blown away by the ability to use this data. And it's information you've got to have. I mean, you've got to know what the market is. You've got to be able to go back and justify why you're coming to a show like this.
Absolutely.
The travel, the booth, and all the other elements of it. And this data gives it to them, because they can go back and say, look, you know, we're bringing X numbers of millions of dollars here to our community by promoting ourselves, and we've got to continue to do it.
What's the plan as far as a systematic rollout of that information, maybe across other states?
Yeah, it's available right now for the most part on the state level and on the congressional level, free of charge. So somebody can go onto the website under our foundation tab, and they can download that information. If they want to take it down to a local level, then there's a small fee for that. I think it's a few $100s, but you know, it's very, very minor compared to, you know, what's gone into developing that.
Absolutely, and considering even though the market's improving, as you mentioned, people are still fighting for budgets and legitimacy.
Right.
So congratulations on taking that initiative.
Sure.
So we're here. 2014's looking good, but I'm sure you're thinking about 2015 already, or at least you will be come Thursday afternoon.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're always working a couple shows ahead, so we're putting some thought and effort right now into the Louisville marketplace, which is 2016, but probably 90% of our effort is focused after this show on the St. Louis show in January of next year. And again, I think it'll be another home run. I mean, St. Louis is a great destination. They've got an entire renaissance going on, rebirth of the city, a lot of new properties, a lot of new restaurants. It's a great downtown. I think if you haven't been there for a while, and I'd not been there for probably 6 or 7 years, until I went back a couple times this past year in 2013. And I couldn't believe everything that was new there. It was like, wow, this is a new city. It's like, where are all these new cities coming from? And nobody told me. So I think people will love being in St. Louis and what it has to offer.
So just like the surprise many people had coming into downtown Nashville
Absolutely.
for the first time, or in a long time, St. Louis is...
it's going to give them that same experience.
Great.
Yep.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time and for your contribution to the industry.
You're welcome.
Certainly helps all of us.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for being here again this year. We appreciate having you.